Episode 7 of the MacroActive Town Halls. I'm Sarah Kelsey, product marketer at MacroActive and host for the One Up Project podcast.
And I'm Sam Williams, Chief Marketing Officer here at MacroActive, and on a rainy Monday morning as it happens in New Zealand, so forgive the background noise, there's nothing we can do about it. And at MacroActive, we're on a mission to impact 10 million people's lives and aim to be the most valuable platform for fitness and wellness coaches, entrepreneurs, and creators.
Yes, and to do that, we want to be releasing the best of the best features, which we happened to do of an improvement to a feature last week, the improved exercise swap feature. So we want to do a deep dive of the impact this will have on you, but also your clients as well. So I went and had a chat to Tom from our product team here to gain an understanding of how this impacts you and your business firstly. So let's chat to Tom now. Cool. Thanks so much for chatting with me today, Tom. I'm really keen to hear your perspective of how this feature has impact on our trainers. So firstly, could you tell us the main function of the exercise swap feature?
Hey, Sarah. So the feature is intended to provide customers with a quick, accurate alternative in case the exercise suggested by the trainer is not available for any given reason. Can be because the machine doesn't exist in the customer gym, or the machine is busy at the time and the customer wants to keep training quickly. So having exercise swap will provide a accurate alternative rather than the customer having to message, DM, or even email the trainer for a suitable alternative.
So if the machine isn't available, they're then able to swap. And then also if they were working out from home, they would have a suitable swap as well. Is that right?
Yes, because it mixes the best of both worlds. In one hand, you got the automation that provide a suitable alternative right there. But behind the scenes, there is all sorts of filters that make sure that the customer gets a proper alternative, not something random. In this case, the customer has to select which one from this list of selections works for them, because the system might think that you have 3 alternatives here, but then at the end of the day, it's up to the customer selecting which machine is available, which machine they're more comfortable with, because all of those exercises in that selection are already pre-approved by the trainer. So all of them are actually good, suitable alternatives.
Yeah, saves a lot of time for the trainer. And going a bit deeper into what you mentioned before, how would a trainer have to complete this if they didn't have a platform to help them with it?
By the old school SMS. And that can be tricky because that means that a trainer can receive messages randomly from customers at any given time, like at the movies, or even when the trainer is, I don't know, eating or having a date or even training, and they have to stop, drop everything, kind of remember which one is this particular student, and then think about okay, tell me, where are you training? Are you training at home? Are you training at your regular gym? Maybe at friend's gym? Tell me your context. So, it's annoying. It's not efficient. It's not scalable. And it takes time because the trainer needs to drop everything, ask the questions, get the context, and just then provide a series of alternatives.
Definitely. It takes care of a lot of the admin side. And so what improvements have we now made to this feature to make it even more impactful on the platform?
Right now, it's very accurate because the trainer beforehand, before they launch the platform, they decide a list of exercises, and each exercise must have at least a couple of alternatives in case the customer, for whatever reason, is not able to perform those exercises. So every exercise list in the platform is already linked to a set of suitable alternatives. for either home or gym. So it's very bulletproof and allows the customer, because the customer is the one training at the end of the day, to pick which one of these pre-approved selection works best for you right now, right here.
From your perspective, how does this help the trainer even more?
I think it makes life for trainers much easier and gives them the peace of mind that the customers are being taken care of, following exactly the trainer's advice, perspective, and interpretation of fitness, and nothing has been left to random. So of course there's a pre-work that the trainer needs to do in order to properly set this up, but after that is set and forget.
Yeah, definitely agree. Cool. Well, it's so great to have your perspective, Tom. Thanks so much for joining us.
If there's something that this reminded me of, it's that time is obviously very scarce for all of you. And this improved feature is an example of how you can tackle that scarcity, I think. What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, I guess as someone that's been on the road while on a training program, I see this as being especially helpful. There have been plenty of times where I've been at an unfamiliar gym or a hotel gym with limited equipment and had to improvise or substitute a particular exercise routine. And without a proper understanding of the equivalent exercises, you can feel a bit demotivated, and sometimes you let the exercise slip as a consequence. So the thing about this is that from a trainer's perspective, you're getting much greater adherence to the routine or the program by giving people flexibility. We're also keen to recap on some of those main points from the trainer's perspective.
Yeah, I mean, as Tom mentioned, the old school SMS is the way that traditionally trainers would have to, I guess, adjust these programs for their clients. You know, they'll need to manually change their programs, and this can be a very time-consuming task. As you know, you can be contacted at all hours. So this improved exercise swap feature allows you to spend time interacting with clients or engaging with your audience, but you can still be confident that the clients you aren't talking to at that time are receiving a tailored experience like you would provide one-on-one if you were dealing with them in the gym as well.
Yeah, and it means your clients can enjoy that more tailored experience and they're better taken care of, which in fact gives you greater peace of mind. And from MacroActive's perspective, you know, you can trust that we've got your back because you're less likely to be contacted at all hours to update exercise programs, as Tom was describing.
Yeah, and of course, you know, less client requests means that you can spend more time on other things like replying to DMs, creating content, creating that community that we know you're all so passionate about. But beyond all of those benefits, it's the time that you get back. And so the upfront work that you put in to make this feature work essentially ensures that your personal training beliefs and preferences are still followed when the platform offers suggestions to your clients, which is so important because you want to make sure that your personal training ethos is still incorporated within your programs with your clients.
Next, we want to chat a little bit more in depth about the benefits to your clients. But just before we do that, we want to take a break for a second and discuss some news that we've seen circulating around fasting not being the same as caloric restriction. And so this is an article from the New England Journal of Medicine that's been published recently, where they did a long-term study on the results gained from two types of diet.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting one. It seems like there are some extra benefits to fasting, things like mental clarity, for example, and often people will find, you know, these benefits through trialing it, and it can be quite personal, so it's depending on your sort of experience. But essentially you can gain a similar effect being weight loss from both fasting and calorie restriction. So it's about working out what's best for you. Personal preference is obviously always key, which is why it's so beneficial to have flexibility within your program as well.
Yeah, what was interesting is that in the study, they found that fasting actually did increase weight loss, but it wasn't statistically significant. So it's a case of reading the science and reading the article in the context of what the ultimate goals of the particular participants are. And a particularly helpful breakdown of the study and its relative merits from a fitness and wellness perspective is this video from Thomas DeLara. Here's a great resource for breaking down the science from a practical perspective in terms of keto, intermittent fasting, and healthy lifestyle in general. So this is a channel that we'd recommend that you follow. And I've found his resources to be very helpful in terms of really understanding the science behind some of these concepts.
Yeah, definitely. If you're not willing to go through and read the whole journal, which is completely understandable, Thomas's video and his channel break things down in a really accessible format while still engaging. A good example for great content around health and fitness information as well, actually. So jumping back into our improved exercise swap feature, we released this update on our close friends group on Instagram, which, side note, make sure that you are a part of that. So all trainers have been added. Keep an eye out and turn your notification bell on as well. We wanted to play you the video or the series of stories that we put up on our close friends so that you can see the impact this will have on your clients.
From MacroActive, and I'm here to show you guys our new improved exercise swap feature. You may know that we have an exercise swap feature available for your clients. So when we're doing their workouts, they can simply press this button here to change the exercise. Once they press the button, the platform wants to understand why they need to swap the exercise. Maybe it's because they have some limited resources. So they can say if they are working out from the gym or from home, for example. By doing that, your client would receive an alternative exercise that was picked by the platform. And now we've just improved this feature, and your client will receive 2 to 3 options of alternative exercises that they can choose. Okay, Mary, what do you mean by that? I mean that your clients will have a more personalized experience, better control of the platform, and more flexibility. So you will be offering a best customer experience, which leads to a longer customer lifetime value and allows us to keep impacting people's lives.
Thanks, Mari. Mari's actually one of our product marketers here at MacroActive. And let's chat through some of those benefits to your clients. So similar to you as a trainer, there is some manual work for the client, and this feature allows automatic personalization.
Yeah, as we've mentioned, there is a manual process for the client if the feature wasn't available. So interrupting their workout because a machine isn't available or an exercise isn't possible is a hindrance to the ease of performing the exercise, building the habit of working out, and just their enjoyment of the whole process ultimately as well. This creates a lot of convenience for the client so that they're not having to go back and forth as well. And also it's replicating those elements of a one-to-one experience because it gives your client all the personalization and flexibility of being with you training, which I think is so important to the consistency that they keep over time while training as well.
Yeah, and what this all means is ease within the customer's workout and therefore a much better experience. If clients feel like your program is easy to follow and it gets them results, they will be a lot more interested in trying something new. And ultimately, this builds trust and means you'll keep them longer.
Yeah, so just to reiterate, make sure you keep up with our close friends updates as we release more features as well. This is going to be a place where you'll be able to receive lots of different updates or special notifications about different things. So it's really important that you're on there.
And it's something that we'd actually recommend that you do with your own clients is add them to a close friends group. So your messages are prioritized in their feeds as well. So that's one of the reasons why we've done this is enabling us to be able to communicate more effectively and efficiently and get further up your feed with any updates that we happen to have for you.
Yeah, and on that, it also builds that community and makes your clients feel special and like they're a part of something, which leads really nicely into something that we've been watching recently, which I've loved. And we're going to talk about that in a second, but I just wanted to quickly mention that if you are interested in learning more about this improved exercise swap feature, make sure that you reach out to our support team. We'll leave their email on the screen now and also below if you're wanting to get in touch. So back to the doco. This is an incredible series with some of the world's best coaches. We're keen to break down each episode in the coming weeks. There's 5 different episodes, and I'd really recommend it. It's called The Playbook, A Coach's Rules for Life. And in the first episode that we hear from Doc Rivers, who is a well-respected NBA coach, most famously leading the Boston Celtics to an NBA championship in 2008.
And I was particularly interested in Doc Rivers' 5 rules and the stories that he told around those 5 rules. The first of which was about his childhood and him setting a goal that was ambitious about who he wanted to be when he grew up. The second is the drama that unfolded with the team owner being caught on tape, being racist, and navigating potential cancellation and how the team came together not to be a victim. And then the third was around the story of his father's death and how the team culture came together as he mourned his dad. And it's a concept called Ubuntu, which comes from South Africa. And if you're not familiar with it from a team player standpoint or building teams, it's well worth looking into. The fourth thing that he talked about was the importance of using pressure to focus your energy in the championship league. And this is just as applicable whether you're playing NBA or soccer or rugby or cricket. And the last concept that he talks about is how champions keep moving forward, or lastly, the importance of always being willing to fail forward as any sort of athlete in what you do.
Yeah, just a couple comments around that, because what I really loved about this doco was its focus on how good leadership can impact people and create a community, and how as a coach you really do have to build a movement that people want to be a part of. We've all seen it in sport. It gets the fans, the players' families, everyone together. And I think it's really important to take some learnings from that in terms of how to build a community, because even though you might not necessarily feel like it, you're a leader in your community, a leader of your clients, of your followers, of the people who trust you, and building a movement for them to be a part of is a really core part of building strength and engagement within your community. So I kind of posed that question to you guys as well. How are you building community within your client group, within your followers? And I think that if you do that, you'll have a really great end result. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching. We look forward to seeing how you continue to impact more lives with some of these resources. Also, just to mention it again, keep an eye on our close friends story on Instagram for all the exclusive tips and resources.
And don't forget to like and subscribe or comment below. And also, something that's just been published this week is a buyer's guide on a fitness and wellness platform. We'll put the link in the description below. Ciao for now.